Hello, 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 and welcome to Relationship Rhetoric. I am your host, Unapologetically Angela. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I am excited because this is the first couple that I had an opportunity to interview since I've been back. As you know, Relationship Rhetoric has started its next season, and I'm really excited to get back in, dive into people's business, pick their brains, and see what makes them work. But for all of you that know, I started this show as a result of my divorce, and I decided that I was going to interview couples and actually see, what made them work. How did they handle conflict? Share their memories, share their love story. I also talk to single people to talk about what single life looks like. And because it's very new to me, I've always also had an opportunity to talk to couples who are divorced and are divorcing, just to see what that looks like. And it left me feeling comforted because I'm not in this world alone, who've gone through the transition, and that love is always on the horizon. So I just met this young lady this year, actually in January, and we work together. And so I feel like I'm in the relationship with them. So I am so excited to actually have an opportunity to get his perspective of the relationship and how he receives her, because she's a lot, but she's a good a lot. And so to see how people make it work and how they met, I am really interested to hear this story and just see what they believe is on the horizon for their futures. So ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Kristina and Kristopher. Hey.
I was here.
Okay, so Christine, I get to talk to you every day. So I want to start out asking Kristopher, how did you all meet? What was your first encounter?
We met through a mutual friend, and I think it was probably at a party. She said that I didn't notice her, but honestly, I can't remember.
You did it the first time, like we saw each other. Like you didn't notice me,
What?
but I noticed you. You didn't speak to me.
But my little circle, well, we used to hang out a lot, like over the weekends, drink, party, and all this stuff, and we probably exchanged like a couple words, but that was it. And I didn't see her too much after that.
Mm-hmm.
We crossed paths again at another party, like months later. And then that's when we actually got like acquainted with each other.
So who made the first move?
Probably it was her. I think it was her because
I don't remember much.
well, okay, there was a lot of drinking involved, and like we were playing like
We were playing Uno. I kept losing.
little drinking games and games like that, and she was laughing really hard at my jokes, and I know my jokes were not that funny, and I think that was the first move.
Okay. So Christina, what was the first sober encounter?
Our first date,
Okay.
like our first date. Well, our first date really wasn't like a date. I was working in retail at the time, and he was out in the area. So when I got off, like we met and like ate or whatever, we talked, and then he asked me like, "Okay, like, do you want to go on a date?" So
Okay. It was a pre-date.
yeah, it was like appetizer before like the real thing.
Okay. So, how long ago was this?
Ooh, it was like 6 years now.
It's not like 6 years.
Okay. So you were not apprehensive, weren't nervous, I guess because you all had been in the circle before together.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That makes it a lot easier. Okay. All right. So where did you go on your first date?
So I cooked for him,
Mm.
and then we went to Real Garden.
Okay. All right. I like it.
What else did we do? We went to the Molly Fontaine house.
Oh, I love Molly Fontaine. Okay. So how long did the dating or the courting phase last?
forever because I was mean. I can admit it now. I was really mean. So he took me out on this date, and I didn't talk to him for like months. I wasn't doing anything. I just didn't
There
talk
was
to him for months. There was just
no reason.
no. But he would text me, ask me how I'm doing. Not you shaking your head. He would text me, ask me how I'm doing. And I would say fine. We would see each other like sometimes. And then I go missing. Then we'll see each other again. Then I go missing. But what really like made me like snap out of it, we went to a Halloween party and this girl thought he was cute too. So since I was playing games, he starts talking to her. And I'm looking at him like, I know you just did not do that. I got mad. I bring it up to this day when I get mad. I got mad. So a few months after that, I got mad for no reason because I stopped talking to him again. So a few months after that, we actually walked down. No, fast. Let me go back. A few months after that, my sister passed away, and he had experienced like the same type of loss because he lost his grandfather, and his grandfather was like his father figure. My sister was like my mother figure. So he knew what I was going through like at that time. Go all the way to June, our friends paired us up to walk down the aisle together in their wedding. And we've been attached to him since since June of what? That was 2018? No, that was 2019.
19. And we're talking about this was like a period over like 2-3 years where like we hang out. I think we went to Rail Garden, we went to Huey's once, and we will hang out and talk a little bit, and then stop talking. And I was like, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?" Like on Instagram and stuff like that. That was it, but it wasn't nothing like serious, anything like that.
But what was going on in your head? Just okay, I guess this is not serious.
Yeah, she playing with me. She playing with my emotions. Like, just tell me, if you interested or not. But I don't even think I was really like looking forward to. I don't think I was really ready for a relationship at the time, anyway. So it was just like just hanging out.
Okay. Okay.
She kind of kept her distance on it, but that's what we were. We were just hanging out.
Okay. So did she publicly show that she was upset when you were talking to the other girl?
You could tell she was upset at the little party thing because I think you left like
I saw you.
Right then and there.
I saw you.
It was like, no, this is not gonna happen. And then she left.
Yeah. I saw him. He tried to hug me. Good night. I was like, don't touch me. And I went and got in my car and went to Waffle House. What you weren't about to do. That's what was not.
And I'm like, where did you go?
To eat.
But you were disappearing. What were you expecting him to do? Just respect your space until you were ready?
Yes.
Just let it be known.
Mm-hmm. I just had to let it be known that I was around, but
Okay.
She wanted me to wait on her, apparently.
Yeah. Until I was ready.
So she was.
Okay. So y'all walk down the aisle at the wedding. Was it ever a conversation like, hey, we should really make this official? We should really date? What's happening? Or y'all just were glued to the hip?
We were glued to the hip that whole trip. And we was there, we was in New Orleans for 3 days, and we were glued to the hip that whole trip.
Like even on the way there, because I had rode with another bridesmaid, and on the way there, he's checking on me, make sure I'm all right. We get to a meet and greet. He's making sure I'm eating. Like, are you okay? You got gas in your car? And I'm just like, why is he asking me all of this? And then I think before we left, I had a flat. So we had to get the tire changed, whatever. He's trailing me the whole way there. I was asleep because I had too many mimosas before we left. So I was knocked out. So the other girl was driving my car, and he's trailing us the whole way. I think we had my location.
From New Orleans. I had a location there with them. From New Orleans to Memphis. For 6 hours.
You knew then.
She didn't tell the whole story though. Because that weekend, there was a whole lot of drinking. Everybody was drinking, especially in New Orleans, like bourbon and stuff. But I'm gonna tell you where the real love is at. I had to hold her hair like 2 times.
That's it. That's it right there. That's it.
I mean, how many people go do that for you?
Yeah, y'all go together.
You know, my nerves.
It's the truth. It's the
I
truth.
appreciate that.
So at this point, Kristina, are you done running?
Yeah, I'm stuck now. We are
Okay.
here. Well, let me phrase that. He's stuck now because now he's looking like, oh, I know she was like this. That's how he's looking now. He didn't know I was like this.
Yeah, because I've seen a couple of your videos, girl. I just was like, this lady here.
Yeah, she's a firecracker.
No.
So let's talk about the proposal.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
So, Kristopher, did you have this plan? Did she know anything about it?
She tried. Okay, so she tried to plan it herself.
Okay.
Like, and she told me exactly what she wanted and like how she wanted it and all that. But I had to do it like my way, of course. I put my spin on it. Like you can't have complete control of everything, but I get you. I'm gonna make sure you're excited and make sure you happy. So and I had thought about the Disney thing before. Like, I think a Disney wedding would be like magical. It'd be like ridiculous. But I mean, it's expensive too. But a Disney proposal would be right there, right behind it. So I was on TikTok and I was watching like Disney proposals on TikTok, and they had like breakdowns on all the locations and what you should do and what time you should get there and all this stuff. So it took quite a bit of planning, and I think that day didn't it like storm and stuff
Yes,
too.
it stormed.
It was like a tsunami that day. It just poured down raining, and I'm glad I was able to like pull it off the way that I did. But she didn't. She told me she didn't expect it, but that's what she wanted to happen, like on her birthday. And I feel like she would probably be upset if it didn't happen. But she probably would have been upset if it didn't happen. But she was so excited, and I even paid a little extra to get like the like what do you call it, like photo pass. So Disney has like photographers set up like everywhere all around the park, and we got like some real professional grade pictures, like right there in front of where it happened. Yeah, so it was nice. And her, she got the ring too much.
Period. My nails aren't done.
I'm just glad you plucked them things off.
Well, I was biting them off. Those kids.
Oh, God.
Woo,
okay. So were you surprised?
I was. So I had been sending him TikToks, like just hints like, hey, this was so great here. I really like this. This would be really nice. Like just throwing hints and then like just making sure like my nails were perfect. Cause I'm a nail person. If I don't get my nails done, I'm gonna put on some press ons. Like something is gonna happen to these nails because I bite my nails. So that's why like they gotta be perfect. So I think when I had first started at my new job, I had told them I had this pre-planned trip to Disney World. And the first thing I said was, I really think I'm about to get engaged.
What was making you think that?
He doesn't like pictures. So when he bought this photo casting, that's what gave it away. Because I'm like, you about to pay $100 some for some pictures? And when he kept bringing it up, and I was like, you don't even like pictures. So why? Like, I don't mind, getting somebody to take pictures like on the phone. Plus, we went with his best friend and his wife. So we could have all gotten pictures with each other. He got that photo pass thing. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely about to get engaged. So the whole day, the way
just waiting.
The way he did it, like every time we took pictures, I'm like, okay, it's happening.
Looking around like,
yeah, I'm looking crazy.
Like they mean, oh my God, it's happening.
Yeah, it's like I feel like the office. Oh my God, it's happening. I'm trying to like stay calm, and then it'll be a regular picture, and I'm looking at him like.
No. But it didn't happen until like that evening. Like we went to dinner and everything. You tell you, it was funny because
his leg was cramping.
So there's a lot of walking at Disney. That's a lot of walking. And this was, what day was this? This was the second day.
Yeah,
because we went to all the parks while we was there. We was there 4 days. Went to 4 parks. But this is day number 2. I think the first day we did like 7, 8 miles something. But this day we did like 16 miles in this park. Right, hot, the walking, everything.
The storm.
Right. So sitting down at the table, and I had the ring and everything in my backpack, and we're sitting at the table, and I had got like a Mickey Mouse birthday cake, or something like it was like a white chocolate, white everything. It wasn't great. But
I thought the ring was in the cake. That's why I'm like, I was strategically cutting.
It wasn't a ring in the cake. But so we're sitting at the table, and like all of a sudden, like I just caught like the craziest cramp like in my leg, and I'm like moving the chair back in the table, like trying to straighten my leg out, and she looking like what's wrong with you? And I guess she thought, I don't know, like I was gonna get down on one knee or something, like. And this is we're at what's it, Be Our Guest?
Yes.
So you get like the Beast, with Beauty and the Beast. The Beast is walking around taking pictures and stuff like that. So I guess she thought like something was gonna happen then, and she swore up and down like something was gonna happen then. But no, it was just a cramp, and it was bad. And they seemed like, "What's wrong with you?"
Yeah, all 3 of us are sitting there looking at him. Just have this leg spasm, and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because you know me, like I like to get to the bottom of things. So I'm like, okay, do we need to leave? Like, do you need some medicine? I had a whole first aid kit in my bag. I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, so what do we need to do? Then I start complaining. I started yawning because we had been there all day. I woke them up at 5 o'clock that morning. We had to get there. We had to get there. I was on a mission. I had a whole plan. I had bought this little Genie Plus thing so we could get on all the rides. We got on almost every ride in that park.
There was a lot of.
I had a plan. Like I planned this trip for like 6 months.
A lot of planning, y'all.
I had everything done to the T. So I'm wondering, like, okay, this leg cramp was not part of my plan.
No, it wasn't the plan.
So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, we still got to watch fireworks. We had to reschedule a ride because it was storming and they shut the ride down. Like, it was storming that bad. Then we ended up waiting in line for a ride we didn't know was a ride. So we didn't plan on getting on that ride because all 4 of us are overgrown. We are too. That ride was for little kids. We didn't think we would get on that ride. Lo and behold, the ride stopped when we got on the ride. That ride was moving fine until the four of us got on that ride.
So funny.
So, but when he did it, I was
That's a
tired
lot.
of taking pictures. So when he did it, I was so tired of taking pictures. And he was like, well, let's take a picture right there. I don't want to take a picture right there. Come on, let's take a picture. Like, he basically told me, he never tells me, like, what I'm about to
I don't
do.
do pictures
But at
either.
that moment, he told me, he was like, okay, we're about to take this picture right here. Okay.
Yeah, all the TikToks were going through my head, all the scenes and all this where I've been watching it for like the past month, like where to do it at. I was like, well, it's got to be here, not in the dining room because my leg was messed up, but like outside in front of.
I didn't mean to say you.
No, I had thought about it, but I was like, no, my leg, I can't get down like right here. No, give me a few minutes. When we left out the restaurant, it was right there in front of the oven. When you first walk in the entrance, there was a stained glass picture or whatever, and that's where I did it. But,
Nice.
yeah, she tried to, she.
Like, it happened all of a sudden because we took the picture and I turned around because my bags were behind me. I had like gift bags and stuff. And then I was looking for something. I'm digging all through the bag, making sure I got everything because I had turned my back on the bag. I turn around. He's on one knee. And my whole life flashed before my eyes.
All the time she was being mean.
Yes. I'm supposed to be me. Like, he really wants to marry me.
You forgot all about the rest.
I forgot it. I said I wanted some coffee and some more.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, Kristopher, do you have children?
No, I don't have any children.
Okay. 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 So, how was it coming into a ready-made family, so to speak?
I thought I would be a little. I guess I thought I'd be somewhat like prepared because um, my mom, when I was born, my mom, and my father, they never married. They were separated when I was very young, and she married. I think when I was like 4, and my stepfather was there up until I was like 13, 14. So I was kind of like, I don't know. It was kind of easy, like an easy transition to like accepting their role as like bonus dad, I guess you could say, stepfather. I don't like saying it, but because I was used to it, and that's kind of what I experienced growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And the man, my stepfather, didn't look nothing like me, but you couldn't really tell. Like they say, well, you feed them long enough, they start to look like you. Like it was like that. He could take me anywhere. They knew like, oh yeah, this is son. So, and I grew up like in my household. Well, my nieces, I got what, five nieces and one nephew. So I kind of watched them grow up, and I spend a lot of time with them. So I'm kind of used to being around children, I guess you could say. Uh, but it's different when you actually living in the household with them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's a little bit different. So it was an adjustment too in itself, but it wasn't a big of a deal to me, you know.
Okay. Okay. Kristina, was there a point where, well, how can I ask this better? At what point did you introduce your son to him?
So since we already knew each other, they had already met because
Okay.
I was the person in the friend group. My baby was coming. Period. Like my child is coming. I wouldn't have him like around all the alcohol and stuff. But if it's like a birthday party, we're about to cut the cake, sing happy birthday. He's there. Y'all finna turn up. Okay, we're leaving. We're leaving. So he had already like met him. The whole group. My child was definitely raised by a bunch of kids, so we can tell. But I think what y'all their first time like hanging out. I want to say we were dating for a while. I want to say like 2 months or so, and then we all went somewhere together. And my son is literally attached to his hip. Like the earth, that the earth does not move unless Christopher is involved in something that we're doing. So he loves him like he's just been here the whole time.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Very nice. That's priceless. So, how do you handle conflict? Well, I think I know the answer to this question. Who is the first person to shoot off?
You see my finger?
I knew the answer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, who is the first person to say, I'm sorry, or even try to make amends? Mm-hmm.
Because I'm real quick, apologize to me, especially if I'm right and I know I'm right. Apologize to me.
I'm just as stubborn too, so it don't always happen like that. But I'm more of the I guess I'm more calm than she is, and I spend a lot of time actually like thinking, like about my actions and a reaction, like what I'm saying. So I can't just shoot off and then I'm gonna have to deal with whatever comes out of my mouth. No, let me take a second and figure out what's going on before I react. Her firecracker. You like that fuse? She going off. That's it.
So, what's the age difference?
2 years.
2 years. Okay.
You would think he's a lot older
Mhm.
because he has an old soul, but we're 2 years apart.
Okay. Okay. So, as of right now, what is your most favorite memory?
He was first. I want to be rude.
Most favorite memory. I don't know. Probably Disney World. The Disney World. The whole trip. I don't know because it's we shared a lot of memories. It was we did a lot of firsts, like a lot of them, a lot of first time experiences. And I think like it's probably Disney.
That was your first time going.
Yeah, but probably that, and then probably New Orleans.
No, that's not.
It's not her favorite, but it's one of mine. But like I said, huh?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We like I said, when we did New Orleans, we spent the whole weekend together, and then that kind of like set up for when we actually started like taking things serious and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And she didn't have the best time because there was other stuff going on, like with the wedding party and stuff. But I talk about it all the time, like the trip. I talk about it all the time.
He had so much fun. I wish I had that amount of fun.
But she was a part of it.
The only thing that I liked was eating hot chips at 5 o'clock in the morning in the open bar. And we were out till 5 o'clock in the morning.
Did you say hot chips?
Hot chips.
And water. We had to walk to Walgreens at 5 o'clock in the morning to get hot
Okay,
chips.
don't act like we weren't on the way to the hotel.
It was on the way.
So don't act like we had to leave. We were already out. Sir.
But it was fun because we were in the same space. Like, okay, instead of like hanging out for a couple hours and I don't see you for like a few months, and I send a few texts or whatever, check on you, and then we might meet up again. Like, no, we were together like the whole weekend. Like we were in each other's space the whole week. So yeah, that's right there. That's good. What about you? Oh, that's a question.
This is not your show. I think my favorite was our family trip to Las Vegas. So he actually met my dad for the first time in December.
Never been to
And
Vegas.
he had never been to Vegas. And I grew up in Las Vegas. So this was like me coming home. I have not been back to Vegas in like 10 years. So it was funny watching him. I'm sorry if you hear Brian in the background. He was living his life in his room. It was my first time being there in like 10 years. It was his first time being there ever, and he was just so amazed at the mountains and the scenery, the crazy stuff that you see on the strip, and that there's actual like suburbs.
I saw a tumbleweed. Like that was enough. I thought tumbleweeds weren't real in the cartoons.
When did you see the tumbleweed?
We saw one.
What
driving
was I
through
doing?
Like when we driving through the mountains, we were the
What was I doing?
Riding. She was asleep in the car. Yeah. I thought only in the cartoons. I thought, but yeah, it was fun. It was amazing.
He saw peacocks in somebody's yard because my dad, like where he lives, is just open. Like he's like an hour away from Area 51.
Oh wow!
So it's open. Like Red Rock Canyon is right there. So we saw an elopement. I was trying to throw hints right there. We saw an elopement. Everything.
So that's perfect because that leads into how is wedding planning going?
Not good today.
It took a turn today.
Okay.
It has its ups and downs.
It has its ups and downs.
Yours
the most
ups.
Well,
mine,
no,
it's like all the issues are on my end every time.
The problem is the wedding party. That's all it is. It's not an issue with anything else, but it's just dealing with your
personalities.
Friends. Yeah. When you bring all your different friends with different personalities and egos, when you put them together, you're going to have problems. You're going to have issues, but they're grown up to where they should.
And these people that are in the wedding party, did they know each other prior to?
Yes, they know each other.
So my side is mostly
mm-hmm.
So I think I have one friend, and she's like my family because we've been friends since the 3rd grade. So this is like my sister. So it's mostly family. It's family from like different areas, you know. So I have a sister that lives in Georgia. She's never met my family. Well, she's never met my friends. I had my cousin that dropped out. She's from Nashville. She's actually never met my sister in Georgia. But she's met my sister here. But she's also never met my best friend that lives here. And then I have his sister, which the only person that has met his sister is my best friend and my sister. So it's like they've already kind of like formed their clique, so to say. And you know how women are. Yeah. You just got to be careful what you say because it's going to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's okay. Today was not a good day for wedding planning.
Today was terrible for wedding planning.
Okay. And the wedding is?
December 2nd, 2023. Okay. We have...
We would just say she would pull up the app, the countdown app.
Period. 199 days.
And remember, like I said to you today, at least it's not November and this is happening.
This is true. Well, the app wouldn't be wrong.
Question the computer. Yeah.
So, last thing, and this has come from each one of you. So, Kristopher, what advice would you give a young guy who is considering proposing?
I guess make sure. Well, it's all of it's like a leap of faith, but I would say make sure you are completely open in your relationship, and make sure communication is number one thing. Make sure you talk through everything, like through all your problems, because in the end, like you don't want no surprises on either side.
Right.
That's all. But,
Right.
real simple. Real easy.
Okay. Kristina?
Um, I would highly suggest going to marriage counseling before you plan the wedding. We did that, which we did it way too early. We've accepted that, but it's helped us tremendously because this is part of the process that people don't tell you about. Because our dynamic is a lot different traditional than traditional cases. Our wedding is mostly being funded by us. So a lot of money goes into that. And we still have to maintain a roof over our heads. We still have to maintain our vehicles. And our life still has to go on. And then we have this added big expense. So at first, it was kind of like a gamble, like, are we going to have a wedding, or are we just going to elope, or are we like, what are we going to do? And so when we finally decided to buckle down and have a wedding, that's when I kind of like took the back seat and used some of that stuff from counseling and like let him be a man and let him do things. And that was hard for me because I had seen my mom be single for so long, and me being single for so long, I had to really come out of myself. But I don't think if I would have never did counseling, we probably wouldn't even be getting married. We probably would have broke up by now because that's been like the biggest struggle for me. Just being in a relationship, period, is letting him be the man because I'm used to okay, well, if it don't happen like this when I want it, I'm just gonna do it myself. And I found myself in arguments with him because of me doing that. So, trial and error.
With those reins, you're not independent no more. You're not dependent, but you're a couple. We're a duo. We're a dynamic. We're
Okay, I
partners.
get it.
I love it. I love it because again, now, Kristina, in real talk, men rarely have that perspective. You know, they rarely want to acknowledge that you have a dynamic and that you are a partnership. So you should be grateful.
But we figured it out the hard way. We figured it out the hard way because when we first moved in together, he got COVID. Like the world was shut down. This was the height of 2020.
Yeah.
That's about it's working in your car.
This was April 2020. So, you know, the whole country shut down, like a month or so, like in March, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we moved in May 5th or 6th or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not the 5th.
We moved May 7th.
The 7th. But right when we moved in, I think like a week later, I had got COVID, and
I lost my job because we were stuck in the house.
And this was a time where you couldn't just walk freely. Like, no, you're sick. You know, stay home. People they want to call you, they want checking up on you, type stuff. Like it was that bad, and it hit me hard. I was sick for like 2 weeks straight. I was bad, terrible. My mom had it, my sister had it, one of my uncles had it, one had it. Everybody was just horrible. And we were stuck at home, and we were here for. I think I was testing. I had to test negative to go back to work. I was testing positive
For 3 months.
for like 2.5 months. So I couldn't go to work. And
So we
then
just in the house.
and then they were saying they had these like laws and stuff like you shouldn't leave, you can get fined and all that. So we couldn't go nowhere. I became a plant dad in that time period.
Anyway, pineapple.
Like it was like like it was like the test. Like we moved in and like bam, now you can't go nowhere. Now you stuck. And we was like, you could walk into one room and be like, "You still here?" Like, yeah, we here, and we kind of like bumped heads like after like a few weeks, but we got over it. Like, and
We
just
stuck in here. We had to get over it.
we had
fast.
no choice. You got to get over it. But no, we learned, and it was I never lived on my own. Keep in mind, and more, I've never lived with a woman or anything like that. So got thrown into this, and then stuck. Bam, can't go nowhere. It was a learning experience, and pick and choose your battles too.
Mm.
You got to pick and choose your battles. You can't argue about everything.
Mm.
But we learned a lot.
Look at me.
We learned a lot about each other in that little time period. But I appreciate it too. I appreciate those.
That was the ultimate test.
It was.
It was the
Yeah.
ultimate test.
Was.
Dog and everything in that time period. Yes.
His name was Charlie.
His name was Charlie.
Thank you.
The dog noises.
Yeah, we got a dog. I started a waist feed business during that time. He was making waist feed.
I was making waist feed.
Making waist
I
feed.
almost bought Cricket, the print t-shirt. I don't know what I thought I was going to do. Anything.
Okay. Well, thank y'all so much for sharing y'all's story. I'm excited. I feel like I know y'all a little better. I do.
Just wait till the wedding.
You don't really know.
Yeah, she's giving me snapshots. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Y'all lay it out on the table.
Yep.
What you know is gonna be there.
Yep. Once I get to rocking, it's done. It is over with. Going side to side like this. I be singing. I know.
Over with. But yes, thank you so much. In the world that we're going in now, a lot of young people don't believe in getting married anymore. You know, they just want to go out here and just do. And so to meet a couple who are actually trying to invest in love and in relationships and learn each other is refreshing. So I applaud you both. I cannot wait to bartend your wedding. I'm going to order my grill in June.
Order a what?
I agree.
A grill.
Yeah.
And am. If we're going to do it, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Well, y'all take care of each other. Continue to communicate. I think y'all gave some really good advice. And like I said, take care of each other. Take care of listen. It's little to I don't know. Let me not say that, but you good where you are. How about that?
Good where you are.
Okay. God, I don't want to do it. I thought about doing it.
Me too.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, y'all have a good night.
You said what?
Have a good night. Have a good night.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Girl.
And I'm sharing this link on YouTube, so make sure you all share the link because I'm sure there are some people that want to hear your opinion and views on relationships.
Of course. Deuces, this is the outro.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kristopher.
This is the outro.
This
That's
is the
quiet.
yeah. I'm gonna leave y'all on that note. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh God, that was so beautiful. Again, it's so refreshing to me to talk to people who find humor, who still seek fairy tales, who still have a desire to be married and do the love thing and do the romance thing, and be themselves. Kristina wasn't instantly off the beginning, trying to give him the attention. She was just wanting to be chased. And whether we want to admit it or not, ladies, a lot of us want to be chased. And men, that's the thing that we feel like is missing, the courting process. And now I'm not saying that it's okay to ignore or to disregard, we do have to communicate. It's very clear for you to say, hey, I'm interested in dating you, but I like the chase of it. I like to be dated. I like the courting. And, men, please feel open to say what it is that you need and what you desire, and when our behavior tends to push you away. Because, yes, we all have standards, but we also have these things in our lives. We say these things are non negotiable, but these things I can tolerate. And the only way that you're going to know that is you have to be transparent and vulnerable and communicate those things in whatever type of relationship you're looking for, whether it's marriage, whether it's dating, whether it's a roommate or whatever. Communication is so, so key. And that's why I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to have this show, that people feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable and share, because a lot of them don't have a clue about what I'm going to ask them. And sometimes, honestly, I don't know either. I allow the spirit to guide me based on what's going on in the conversation and the vibe that I get. So I hope that they helped you as much as they helped me, because I needed that hearty laughter. I love to see people in love. I love to see people in love. I love to see people at peace in love. I love to see people thriving in love. So thank you again, Kristina and Kristopher. Thank you guys. I will see you next Thursday with another one of my favorite people. And I'm not going to even tell you about it. You just wait till I start posting pictures of this one, honey. So tune in next Thursday, 7 p.m., right here, same time. Peace, love, and communicate, guys. Talk to each other. Talk about it. Talk about it. As painful as it may be, as uncomfortable as it may be, talk about it all.